This is the F123 review. Hooray! It's back again. And spoiler alert, don't watch this if you don't want spoilers. I'm going to spoil the heck out of Breaking Point and review the whole game. But F123 brings back Breaking Point, the second story that follows familiar faces of Aiden Jackson, Devin Butler, and Casper Ackerman as they work together to make their team survive the season. You find out Devin has a sister, Callie, who is an amazing driver, and she loathes her dad. And the dad, whom funds Connor Sport Butler Racing, is just kind of in there stirring the pot, just messing things up. There is drama on and off the track. You'll find yourself liking certain characters and annoyed by others. And if you're like me, you'll rather enjoy all of it. Personally, I enjoyed the story of Breaking Point 2. I enjoyed the character development and the way the story is told. It feels like the Netflix show in many ways. A few things I liked about Breaking Point is the animation is vastly better than F121's Breaking Point. The people on the screen have legit organic movements, move naturally, and are believable when speaking on screen. They used to kind of look like not marionettes. They kind of used to look like mannequins that would speak back then. It was still decent, but their movements weren't natural. This one is way better. I also enjoyed being dropped onto the track after a cinematic to race towards an objective. That was really fun, really fast-paced and heavy-hitting. Those things were very gripping and had me playing non-stop until I was done with the story. Seriously, I played Breaking Point 2 in one day and got through everything. It was that good. A few things I didn't care for were the random full races that just it seemed out of place, and all of the filler in between, the calls, the emails, the social media posts, and even the decisions made off the track seemed pointless when all was said and done. And here comes the big spoilers here. Devin drops a huge bomb. I'm not going to reveal that. Devin pretty much cannot race for a specific reason. Callie has daddy issues. Aiden is an entitled dick. And somehow they all come together to work as a team and barely survive the season. It's a spicy story for a racing game. I honestly can't wait for Breaking Point 3 because I genuinely enjoy everything about the experience. I enjoyed the heck out of Breaking Point 1, and now, again, Breaking Point 2 is equally as enjoyable. Now let's move on to the rest of the game. Career mode seems the same for the most part. I'm definitely starting at 35% career mode as soon as humanly possible. F1 World is an online content hub, and I couldn't experience any of that really before the release. So more on that later when there's more people online racing. It's cross-platform, so there better be thousands of people online later on this week so I can give it a good go. The tracks look and feel great. The overall color and lighting feels more realistic and gives an overall better visual experience. I used a controller throughout the entire time of playing Breaking Point 2. I used a wheel the last couple of years, but I wanted to go and use the controller because they as an EA Sports and Codemasters, they boasted better controller technology, and honestly, it does feel vastly better than the previous F1 titles. The cars do feel the same, but I just feel like in general, the controller just has a better overall feel. They really optimized that and really spent some good time trying to get the controller to feel better in general. So they did a good job there. The cars, though, they do feel the same. They're not as twitchy, but they're still very responsive. Under braking, the vibrations going on the curbs, everything, the contact with other cars, everything just feels great. I'd say this game as a whole has a very solid foundation which took years of fine-tuning, and it gives us a good overall F1 experience. Other tidbits I want to point out that were good: the soundtrack is an absolute banger, the menus are user-friendly, and you can really skip all of the crap and get to the racing if you want. If you're like me, you just want to race, you don't want to manage your team, you don't want to do the engineering part, the racing and development, you don't want to do the social media and emails and stuff, you can just skip all that and go right to racing. And it just seems like you don't really miss out on much if you do. Now for some of the cons and things that I didn't really like. The F1 Life has returned, but it's tucked back into some customization menus on the F1 World Hub. So it's still in the game, but it's not a feature anyone is really raving about. It's actually kind of, tucked back there, a couple sub-menus to get to it to change it, but it's not really the forefront thing like it was on the previous game. And speaking of customization, I swear all of the character models are repeats from the past couple of years. Customization as a whole is fairly bad with this base game. Maybe more stuff unlocks as you level up, but honestly, you shouldn't have to level up using a paddock pass to get more gear and emotes. The F2 car felt very clunky. I noticed this car, using this during a couple of chapters in the Breaking Point 2, when you had to finish a couple of races as Callie, but the F2 car just feels, I don't know, I mean, maybe it's always felt like this, but this game, it just felt clunky and slow and really janky, so I didn't care for that. The racing UI has had very little changed over the years, and frankly, the shortcuts being taken year after year are starting to wear on me. It's not like it's a big game-breaking thing, but it's very noticeable. Just something, maybe a different font. I don't know, maybe it's not a big deal. Maybe it's just an F1 thing where they don't want to change their thing unless they change the official F1 stuff. But I don't know. The AI, not the AI, but the UI really needs to be updated. And yeah, because I feel like I've been playing the same game. But other than that, oh, and the AI. Let's talk about the AI real quick. The AI is not necessarily a con, but I do feel like you're racing against a smarter AI this time around, and I know that's tough to deal with sometimes, especially if you're a single-player racer or if you just are doing career or whatnot. I think that F1 has been steadily getting better throughout the years using their AI technology for single-player racing experiences, and this one feels really, really good. I just thought of that at the end there. So yeah, I give F1 23 an 8 out of 10. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoy the game if you play it. F1 has been solid. And yeah, I will see you on the track. Bye-bye.